then Poison Ivy came out as probably the big drop, the single, and you were like, whoa, it's just so thick and heavy. It's like new musicians. Like it sounds so different, and the production, of course, is just
The production's huge. I mean, we would do, like I said, at that time we had a bunch of amps, bunch of guitars. So I'd record rhythm for something, lead for something, and the producer John would say, change the amp, change the guitar, let's do it again. And then we'd blend 3 or 4 guitars to make that one guitar sound. First album, straight in Marshall, that's it, one time, that's it, you know what I mean? So that album, there's a lot more depth, and then there's even more on the third record. But yeah, a lot more depth and a lot more counter rhythm.
Yeah, true. The songs, though, you guys just, you got the counter rhythm, and just the songs actually, off the top of my head, I have it pulled up on here, some of the songs that were like you guys did. Where there's a whip, there's a way. I mean, just the songs that came in a little different. House of Pain Everybody Loves. And I love the fact that the lyrics are different. I love ballads. I mean, but I don't need to be all love ballads. I love Mel's music. I mean, I agree with you, Leonard Skinner too. But that song, it's like Junkyard did Simple Man, or Kicks did Don't Close Your Eyes. Everyone kind of said, you know what, we get it. We have to do this, but we're gonna put a little different spin on it, and it's cool.
Yeah, and that was, at that time it wasn't, because that was the first album had just come out. We were touring a little bit, so we wrote that song before. Like, I think at that time, ballads had, like Sweet Child of Mine. None of that stuff had come out. It was on the record, but it hadn't come out as single. It was just like, I love this. I want to play this. It's a different view of the band. You know what I mean? Because we went from 3-chord rock, and every day you're just writing new stuff and getting better, and
Well, a big musician, I mean, you want to expand, and then
the
songwriting, I mean, like Gotta Walk. Like, where'd you come up with that idea? Because it was just like, it had a groove on it. That's just
the groove on it. But that was me going, I love Billy Gibbons. I love ZZ Top.
Okay.
It was a total rip of LaGrange. It's like the harmonics and stuff that I did. I go, I want something that sounds kind of ZZ Top-ish, Our influences, rock and roll, we all had kind of the same influences, but we had so many other influences, each guy, that would bring to it. Then it would sound like Faster Pussycat. But like I was a huge U2 guy. And Nonstop to Nowhere on our third record starts because I remember seeing U2 and they played MLK, which is a song that just has a low keyboard.
Yep.
And I go, I love that. I want to start a song like that, and I want to have a guitar line that goes through the chorus like they do, or like the Babies used to. 2 different bands, but the style, there was something about some of that stuff. I go, I want to incorporate this into whatever. And it doesn't sound like bands, but it's your influence.
No, but that's not the point. But that's great, and that's really interesting. I mean, because the song itself, I mean, the album stands like different than the genre itself. Like, what I'm saying, it's defining. It's but like another one, Ain't No Way Around It, is another one. I mean, Arizona Indian Doll. These are songs that you co-wrote on. You credit for. And Crying Shame and Tattoo. They're all similar, but they all have a different groove to them too, though. I mean, you really put a different sound to them.
Because you got to realize we're in a room for a year straight, rehearsing every day, and it's like you go through so many different things in music. The groove, like the band itself, musicians, we're not great musicians, right? We weren't great musicians. Drummer's not great. None of us were like, wow, those guys are musicians. None of that. The band as a whole, like the drummer had a great groove. Mark Michaels, he had such a different feel than other drummers. After he was gone, we tried out a lot of drummers and they all had this certain feel. He had just a different feel. And he's not a great drummer, but it was just a feel that he had that made the band groove differently,
I said that a lot, same thing about Steven Adler's, what they used to say about him too. Not a great drummer, but there's a groove to him. But Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses, the same thing. They had there's something about that not technical swing.
It's just got a certain swing, and everybody has a different, guitar players all have a different way of playing a part. Just their groove, their internal clock, you know what I mean? And so and with that style of music we were doing, you don't obviously have to be a great musician. You just got to do what you want to do, and if it's good, if it's not, then don't listen to it. You
look back, if you look at some of the albums, a lot of those bands would have sat in a room and partied and gotten messed up and not come out with such a good album, though. Too, you guys a little bit of credit there. You guys put the work in, and you guys got the reward because I was surprised it wasn't platinum. I thought it was platinum. It was only gold.
Only gold.
I didn't even know that. I literally assumed it was platinum because.
Not that we know.